Hi, I'm Sarah. We have already set our intentions and our prayers for this session, so enjoy and learn.
Why is there chorus today?
We wanted to come through.
Is there a big event or anything?
Depends on your definition of big event.
What is your definition of a big event? In other words, what is the event?
You want to know why we're all here.
Yes.
Helping Sarah to continue her journey.
Can you elaborate some, please?
To help her open up to the vast knowledge that is accessible to everyone, but especially to her. She still doubts herself.
That's human nature.
That it is.
It's the ego that gets in our way.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to tamp down on that ego.
How can Sarah get better control of her ego?
She's learning. What do you think the answer is?
Meditation.
Of course.
Is that the answer?
Yes.
Can you give an example of an intention to not control, but to get the ego to behave better?
It's good to mention intention. Rhyme intended.
Okay. Ha ha.
Ha ha. As long as, well, I won't say as long as, but when she meditates, and she's listening right now, state the intention to learn to help the ego to let go. And she's doing some of that already. Letting the ego go, soothing its tendency to worry, reassuring the ego that nothing bad will happen with the statement of intentions of higher frequencies only being allowed in to a meditation, the intention of opening up the mind, the heart, the third eye, the entire spirit, to allow self-love, self-appreciation, knowing the self in truth. In other words, knowing the true self. The true self can assist, can conquer, if you will, the ego, the doubts that the ego throws out. It's a process. Repetition through meditation, stating these intentions, goes a long way. Not just in relaxing and soothing and reassuring the ego, but to opening up to all that is and knowing the true self. This isn't just for Sarah, this is for all of you. Meditate with intention. Simple answer there.
I have an auxiliary question to that question and answer. As you were sitting there giving the answer, looks like you were petting a cat.
Wasn't I?
No, the cat's in up in tier 4 in his tree. Were you trying to pet the ego, so to speak, to calm it down?
Well, I wasn't trying to pet the ego. It was just a way of showing how to calm the ego, to allow it to relax, take a nap, things like that. I was not petting a cat. I was gesturing.
Okay. I've been having much difficulty, and I'm sure other people have, working with now and the time in this world. I've come to the realization that the difference between time on my world and now in your world is basically the same difference in scope of between a 2D world and a 3D world. I'll have to wait till I get back there to experience it again. No question, just a statement. Did it make sense? Is that a correct statement?
To you, it made sense.
Is it a correct statement, though? I know to me it is, but is it a correct statement?
The verbiage could be a little off, but the intent is correct.
Okay, in other words, don't worry about it.
Exactly. Go with the flow and know that now is everything, and as you said one time, nothing, which is everything.
Mm-hmm. We were watching some Skinwalker Ranch episodes last night, and I got thinking, are the Skinwalkers an actual entity?
To those who believe they are, yes.
And those who don't?
Then they're not.
How do those two worlds interact?
Very carefully.
Because what I'm asking, if someone believes there are skinwalkers, and someone doesn't believe there are skinwalkers, and the two happen to coincide or meet each other, what goes on?
It depends on the individuals, but basically it's the same as whether or not you believe in demons. If you believe they're there, then you'll have lower frequency entities responding to that because they respond to fear. Skinwalkers, such as they are, will respond to the emotions of individuals that they come in contact with, physical beings. They will show themselves as physical if those beings expect them to be such. However, those who are fearful will be frightened by what they see, will expect the worst, and it'll probably happen because it's what they believe. To people who are surprised and intrigued and welcoming of the experience, the skinwalkers, plural, single, it doesn't matter, will not respond to fear. In a way, they'll be relieved that someone is not running away from them screaming, or that someone can see them as positive beings. It kind of goes along with just about any paranormal experience. If you're fearful, that's what you'll get. If you're excited and in awe and wonderment and curiosity, that's what you'll get.
That explains a lot in the paranormal programs that we watch occasionally. Like the difference between the guys actually hunting for ghosts and spirits and the one known as Amy Allen, who actually knows they're there but doesn't really look for them. She can sense them, but she doesn't really.
She isn't truly enlightened about her experiences. But she is not afraid of what she sees and senses, because she knows that if she can help these entities, that they'll be better off, and they won't hurt her. They can't. In spite of some people saying that, claiming that negative entities can hurt, injure, damage a human being. Again, that's because that's what they expect. So it happens. The entities, negative entities, are feeding off of that expectation, that fear, that sometimes revulsion. And so, then they can soak up all that energy and cause something to happen. Whereas if someone is responsive to them, to these entities in a more positive light, and says, I see you, I recognize you, I acknowledge you, I acknowledge your pain, how can I help? Their experience will be totally different, and there will be no harm.
That explains a lot. Thank you.
You are welcome.
What was the other question I had? Hopefully it'll come back.
If it's important, it will come back to you.
Does Gaia have life cycles?
Oh, yes. She's a living entity.
Let me finish, please. I know she has them because of spraying and all that type of stuff, but let me finish because I'm looking for a different type of answer. For example, the sun has an 11-year sunspot cycle. Mm-hmm. The Earth has its annual cycles it goes through too. What type of long cycles does Gaia go through that are repetitive? Like an ice age or something like that are repetitive.
Ice ages. Physical. Oh, no, I shouldn't say physical. Although they come to pass to the humans on her as physical. But the changes, physical changes other than ice ages. It can be something from the core. It can be they're cyclic things of whether the core is hot, really hot, or cooling off, whether it is spinning one direction or another, whether it comes to a stop, it'll start up again. Yes, you're aware of seasonal changes, but those are just superficial. What about the cleansing of beings on her surface, not just human, but animals? People bemoan the fact that the Dinosaurs were destroyed because there was a reason for that. They had reached the end of their evolution and they needed to be cleansed. Something would have happened, whether it was an asteroid or comet. What about the wildfires that you're all experiencing right now? And then there are floods and droughts at the same time, and cyclic behavior on Gaia's part. Fortunately for humanity, such things, especially happening all at once, are few and far between. The cycles are very lengthy in your way of thinking. The increase in volcanic activity, tectonic plate activity, which the Earth has recently, well, not just recently, but the most recent example was quite devastating to humanity in the area. There's all those things. I know that humanity thinks that they have caused climate change, and climate change is having these results. It isn't entirely humanity's fault. Gaia is going through a cycle. She would do it whether humanity was messing things up or not. Although humanity does need to be aware of what they're doing and how harmful it can be. So that's not to say that humanity has not had any part in this cycle. It's just that humanity must remember Gaia is a living organism. And you're torturing her. Stop, please. Enough lecturing on my part.
Okay.
On our part, I'm sorry.
This next one kind of just deals with Gaia and our interaction with her. How would we cut stones like granite, sandstone, and etc. by either using sound or vibrations?
Sound is vibration.
I knew you'd say that. How do we do that? Is this, if I may ask a few more questions, is the sound vibrations powerful enough to melt the rock, or does it just push the atoms aside as it goes through?
That is pretty much what melting is. You're not destroying anything, you're just altering the molecules and atoms. The answer to your actual question is that the right frequencies amplified properly, sometimes it's a mix of frequencies, how they blend. There are a number of ways to explain this, but that's the simple answer. Proper frequencies, maybe a blending of frequencies appropriately and in the proper timing, so to speak, will have the effect again, if those who are planning on producing an effect figure out, I'm not going to tell you that, but figure out how to put the frequencies together and when and what the cycle should be and the frequencies, the vibrations, and how much cooperation from other entities they should have. They need to state their intention. But first and foremost, recognize, you're referring to various rocks and solid formations, but anything that needs to be done, whether it's within a person's body or on a grand scale to build something, I think that's what you're after. It takes the soul, the true self of each individual involved to recognize the validity, the worthiness, the consciousness of each item they're attempting to change, to alter in some way. But until that recognition of the consciousness of every iota on your planet, including each atom, there won't be any of this marvelous construction that you're referring to.